Hello everybody, welcome back to another new video. It's me, Will, and this is going to be my video for the 2024 CD tag brought to you by the one and only DJ Trish. So as usual, thank you to DJ Trish for putting together the list of 9 questions for the CD tag 2024. I was initially thinking about doing a video for the vinyl tag from Rob Walker that a lot of people seem to be doing nowadays. But I'm really having a hard time finding records on vinyl for a few of the questions of the vinyl tag. So even though my preferred format for collecting music is vinyl, I've really been collecting vinyl seriously for the last 10 or 12 years maybe, whereas I've been collecting CDs since I was a teenager. Since back in the 90s, that was the way of listening to music on CD. So my CD collection is a lot bigger than my vinyl collection, especially that you can find CDs for so cheap nowadays. So yeah, I had a few more options for the CD tag. So this video is going to be for the CD tag. Maybe in the future I will do a video for the vinyl tag for Rob Walker. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Pretty simple 9 questions that DJ Trish put together for the CD tag. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's start off with the first one. New music discovery of last year from 2023. Gotta go with An Attendant Anna, and this one's called Principia, and it came out last year in 2023 on Trouble in Mind Records. Great indie pop band from France, from Paris, France. And I actually went to see them live last year. They played here in Atlanta. And I bought this one at the merch table on CD because they sold out of the vinyl. Great new music from An Attendant Anna. Indie pop, great vocals, great guitars, great rhythm section as well, but with a very heavy jazz influence in their music. So they do have horns in some of their tracks. Definitely check it out, An Attendant Anna. This one's called Principia. Alright, question number 2 is a release from a fellow VC member. And I did have a little bit of a tough time finding one in my collection for this question, but eventually I found one. How about this one? This is the X Action Figures, and this is their self-titled album, X Action Figures, that came out in 1996 on Mafia Money Records. So technically the guys from X Action Figures are not in the VC as far as I know, but the guy that put together this record, that put out this record, and the creator of Mafia Money Records is Dave from The Dark Stuff. So he actually sent me this CD back a few years ago as part of VCLT. So thank you to Dave for sending this out, X Action Figures. 90s alternative rock, heavy influenced by the college rock type of vibe or music from back in the 90s. So you can hear a little bit of the Replacements, you can hear a little bit of Pixies, a little bit of REM, so that kind of vibe. But in general, they have a very unique sound, especially in this record. Great record from the X Action Figures. It's also not available on streaming, which is something that I just recently found out. So I'm glad that I have a copy on CD. Again, the X Action Figures from Mafia Money Records. Alright, the next couple of questions actually kind of go together, so I'm going to be answering those two at the same time. First of all, name 1 to 2 YouTubers that inspire your music purchases. And the next question was to give 4 shout-outs to fellow VC members. So as far as the channels that inspire my purchases, I'm going to have to go with the Vinyl Douche. He has a great channel where he really focuses a lot on newer type of indie rock, stuff that rarely will get talked about here in the VC, and I'm always discovering great new music from his channel. In fact, the very first CD that I showed you in this video was based on Sam's recommendation, An Attendant Anna. Next, I gotta also give a shout out to Dave from the Dark Stuff. He and I are pretty much in sync when it comes to our music taste. But I'm still discovering lots of great new music based on his channel and his recommendations. Again, Dave from the Dark Stuff. And I'll put a link here in the description to all those channels in case you haven't subscribed. I gotta give a shout out to Steve Carlson because his Sunday morning shows are awesome. I really enjoy watching his Sunday morning shows with a cup of coffee in the morning. I like the fact that he doesn't just focus on a specific genre or on a specific decade of music. He really is open to listening to everything, any kind of music out there. Great channel. And I also gotta give a shout out to Chris from Racket Talk. Also focuses a lot on more newer kind of indie rock music, as well as alternative rock from the 90s. And his videos are just great. So make sure to check out and subscribe to Chris from Racket Talk. And also gotta give two more shout outs. One to DJ Trish, of course, for putting together this tag on CD. And I also love watching her adventures out there in the Jersey Shore. They are really fun videos. And B-Sides from Tennessee, Jenny. I love watching her videos as well as her live streams that she does with Dave called the Garage. They spin really unique music in that live stream, so I've really been enjoying those videos, so keep them coming. Next question. Cool labels. I had to go with Sub Pop. I'm wearing the t-shirt right now. I actually bought out there in Seattle when I was there a few years ago. Fun fact, they actually have a Sub Pop store out there in the airport in Seattle. In case you're ever flying there, make sure that you stop by the Sub Pop, kind of like a gift shop over there, which I thought it was a very Seattle kind of thing to have in the airport. But anyways, I went with Sub Pop because I think they are the coolest label since the 90s. They've been releasing some of the best records from some of the most iconic artists from the 90s and even from nowadays. But anyways, I went through my collection and I wanted to show you some records that were released on Sub Pop. Mudhoney, this one's called Digital Garbage. A great and very underrated record that came out, when did this one come out? 2018. I picked this one up on CD. Again, grunge from Seattle. This one is from the Shins, also on Sub Pop. This one's called Know Your Onion. Very interesting record. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there, but the CD has kind of like a clear part right here because it's more like an EP rather than a full album. It only has, I think, 4 songs. And there's the track list, and it came out on Sub Pop. When did this one come out? 2002, so more than 20 years ago. Great record from our EP from the Shins. How about the Go To Beds? This one's called That Begins at 30. Also came out on Sub Pop. This one came out in 2019, so just a few years ago. And I like with some of the Sub Pop releases on CD, they make them look like a small vinyl record here with the gatefold. And if you open it here on the side, you get like an inner sleeve. Kind of feel like it looks like a vinyl release. And inside is the CD. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it there, but the sleeve is kind of embossed in this Sub Pop label logo. It looks really cool. And a couple more from Sub Pop. Here's the latest release from Taco Cat, Seattle-based band. And this one came out also in 2019 on Sub Pop Records. And they also made it look like a small vinyl record with the same thing, with the inner sleeve. And you can get the CD inside. So they always come up with really cool packaging. This one's called... it's kind of hard to see because the name of the title of the album is here embossed or engraved. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there, but this one's called, what was this one called? This Mess is a Place. I love the title of this album from Taco Cat. Classic indie rock music from the Seattle-based band. And lastly, one more Sub Pop release. This is one that I found at the thrift store not too long ago. This is the John Peel Sessions. The John Peel Sub Pop Sessions from 1989 to 1993. Great compilation. You can see right there the track list, but it essentially has 6 bands playing live or recorded by John Peel back in the late 80s and 90s. So it has Mudhoney, it has Tad, Seaweed, Pond, Velocity Girl, and Codeine. Classic alternative rock bands from back in the 90s. Great compilation, and very well recorded, of course, by the great John Peel. And what is cool is that here in the artwork, they made kind of like superheroes out of each of the band names. So they have kind of like a character for each of them. My favorite out of this one, of course, were Mudhoney, like I mentioned before, and Velocity Girl. I love the music from Velocity Girl. Very shoegaze and grunge inspired type of music. Check them out. Again, this one's the John Peel Sessions from Sub Pop from 1989 to 1993, and it came out in 1994. All right, next question. Question number 6, channel to check out. I gotta mention a newish channel called Lost Mixtapes. I really been enjoying his videos, especially one of the ones that he released last year when he went back to his to a town that he used to live in, Minneapolis, and he visited a lot of the venues where he used to go see the Replacements. And great tasting music, and he's really good at making videos. So make sure to check out Lost Mixtapes. And as usual, I'll put a link here in the description to all of those channels so you can check them out. Next question was an artist that we lost in 2023. Again, it was a little bit difficult to find in my CD collection, but finally I found one. And it is actually not a musician that died in 2023, it's an artist that died in 2023, and that is Frank Kozik, legendary designer and artist of 90s rock and roll posters, as well as CD covers like this one from The Offspring. And this is the cover for Americana. And this one's really cool because I think he made all the artwork for the CD booklet as well as for the full record. So he has a picture or a design for each of the songs in the album. And I always loved the artwork from Frank Kozik. I thought it was quite unique. As you can see, very colorful as well. But yeah, he passed away last year. But yeah, I always found his artwork style very interesting because it was almost like a mix between Disney World or Disney artwork and Salvador Dali, or something very dark and surreal in a way. So it almost looks like a children's type of art, something that would belong in a children's book. But if you look closely, there's something really weird and strange happening in those scenes. So I always found his artwork pretty interesting to watch. So yeah, Frank Kozik, he passed away last year in 2023. Next question. Female artist that deserves more attention, I gotta go with Steph Chura. I love this record that she released a few years ago. When did this one come out? In 2019 on Saddle Creek Records. This one's called Midnight. And came in with a little gatefold. And here's the track list. I love her vocals, her style, the way that she sings, kind of like a raspy type of voice, very catchy type of indie rock. Definitely check out the music from Steph Chura. I don't think she has released anything since this one came out a few years ago, so I'm really looking forward to something new from Steph Chura in the near future. All right, and the last question for the CD Tag 2024 is to give your want list for 2024. And of course, I have to say Green Day. I'm super excited about the new record from Green Day. It's going to be called Saviors, and it's going to come out just in a couple of weeks. I already pre-ordered the version on vinyl, of course, but I also pre-ordered the CD version of it because they're going to release a really cool looking box set version of the CD. So I had to order that one too. The next one that I have in my want list is the new one from Sleater-Kinney, and this is the last one that I bought from them. This one came out in 2019, the Center One Hold. Honestly, this one was a little bit of a disappointment to me. It wasn't a great record. And it's been a while since I really enjoyed or really liked a new Sleater-Kinney song, because the one that came out after this one, I didn't even listen to it because I didn't like the singles that came out. But anyways, they have a new album called Little Rope, and the record that came out, the record's going to come out also later in January. The songs that have been released so far for the album sound amazing. I'm really, really stoked about that new album from Sleater-Kinney. It's definitely a record to check out later on this year. And lastly, the new record from The Smile. This is a new group put together by a lot of the members from Radiohead. And this is the one that came out a few years ago, their debut album called A Light for Attracting Attention. One of my favorites from that year. I think it was from 2021 when it came out. But anyways, they're coming out with a new record later this year called Wall of Eyes. Super, super excited about that one. Hopefully the vinyl won't be that expensive like it was when this one came out. I think when the vinyl was like $40. But if it is, I'm just gonna pick it up on CD, because as you can see, I have no problems in picking up records on, or picking up albums on CD. Anyways, that's my entry or my video for the 2024 CD tag. Again, thank you very much to DJ Trish for putting together these questions. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.